Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and we are going to break down the REV'IT Sky and Airborne base layers available at RevZilla.com. So we have got Juice on my left-hand side, who is going to model both of these different base layers for us. He is currently wearing the Sky, and we'll bump into the Airborne next. Important note up front is both of these are going to be warm weather base layers. There's going to be a cooling effect to both of them, but there's going to be some creature comforts you're going to bump up into with the Airborne that you're simply not going to have with the Sky. Now, sizing for these are going to be the same for both. Juice stands at 5'10". He weighs in at 195 pounds. And he is currently wearing these both in a large. He measures his chest at 42 inches. If you're using REV'IT's size chart, there should be no surprises there. Tony went ahead and used that size chart, and it matched up perfectly. And just to be sure, I would say you could probably just go ahead and match up with whatever underpants you are wearing. When old Juice next to me was changing, I snuck into the locker room, grabbed his Fruit of the Looms, and he in fact does wear his boxers in a large. So again, no surprises with the sizing on these bad boys. Now, the Sky that he is wearing, the main difference here, this is going to be your entry level within the base layer line for REV'IT. $65 for the shirt, and then you are looking around the $50 price point for the pants. But the stretch on this is just going to be a horizontal stretch. When you bump to the Airborne, you're going to get a four-way stretch, which gives you a slightly better range of motion. But what you're getting with the Sky is just a stretch that's going to move horizontally with this. Now, it's still going to be that same multi-yarn material. And the multi-yarn is going to be great because it helps to wick sweat away. It allows air to pass through. And this is going to be available for both men as well as women. You're also going to have a larger size range. You're going to have sizes that are going to range from a small up to a 3XL. So if you're a little bit larger, the Sky is going to have larger sizes. When we get to the Airborne, that's only going to go up to an XL. Juice, go ahead and just face backwards for me for a second. So again, you do have the shirt as well as the pants with this. You're going to have flat lock stitching throughout, so you're not going to have any areas here where it is going to bind up, which is just a nice added feature whenever you're looking into base layers. The other thing you'll notice is that flat lock stitching works throughout the hiney area as well as down the sides, so it is going to be that same level of construction that we see with the shirt. Now, the other thing to note is that when we're looking at the base layers, there's two different styles of base layer. You're going to have, more of a compression style as well as more of a relaxed style. Now, this is definitely going to be more of that relaxed style, and for me personally, I like this style of base layer a little bit better. I find that it works great whether you're using this for more of a track style, sport style riding, or you're using this for more of an adventure off-road. The lack of compression, I feel, is more comfortable using it throughout a full day's worth of riding. Juice, you can go ahead and face forward. So that is going to wrap up the Sky. Let's now move on to the Airborne. So we now move on to the Airborne. The Airborne is going to be your more premium option from REV'IT. You're now looking around the $100 price point for the shirt, around the $80 price point for the pants. And I did misspeak earlier. The sizing for the shirt on this goes up to a 2XL. So it doesn't go all the way to the 3XL the way the Sky does, but you do have the availability to bump up to the 2XL version of this. Now, the other thing you'll note is that there's added reinforcement in your high wear areas. So one of the things is that this is going to be a sample, but in the production version, you're going to have extra reinforcements along the shoulders to give you that area where you tend to wear out the under base layer a little bit quicker. You are going to have that added just for some reinforcement with the Airborne. Now, the biggest change from this is going to be the fact that this is going to be a four-way stretch. It's still the multi-yarn construction, but it's going to stretch both vertically as well as horizontally, and it's going to be done in a round knit construction. Think crocheting. So there's no seams that are going to be running around the main part of the body. You are going to have some flat lock stitching, which is going to work its way down the shoulders, but very minimal seams, which adds to comfort. And whenever you're wearing base layers, adding comfort is always going to be the name of the game. The other thing to note with this is that when we're looking our way down the body, there's a very long cut to this. So both the pants as well as the shirt, if you have a longer torso, if you are longer in the legs, this is going to be an excellent option for you because the base layers do run a little bit longer than some of the other manufacturers that we've seen. So just keep that in mind for all of you larger, lankier, taller gentlemen in the audience. Juice, go ahead and face backwards for me. So what you'll notice as we take a look down the back, again, pop reflective with this, you are going to notice all of the actual little reinforcement points along the back, and you'll notice that in different areas. This helps to wick the sweat away. This is going to, again, be that high temperature base layer. For those of you riding in the warmest months of the year, this is the option from REV'IT that you want to wear underneath your tracksuit and or your adventure gear to maintain comfort when you're riding in those warmer months. Now, as you work your way down the back, you notice the extra reinforcement pops along the back of the knee, working its way down the calf. And there are going to be areas where you have more of a compression design, but much like we talked about with the Sky, this is designed to be a little bit more of that loose flowing base layer, great for all day comfort. Now, you'll notice down there at the bottom, you do have that extra bit of room around Juice's ankles. And like we talked about earlier, this is for those of you out there that are a little bit taller. You can work that all the way down. You don't have that gap. I know for me, sometimes when I'm wearing some shorter base layers, they don't go all the way down to the bottom of my legs. So this is going to be a solution that's going to work for some of us that are a little bit taller. Juice, you can go ahead and face forward. So for those of you out there that are looking for updating your base layers in 2018, you want something for riding throughout the hottest months of the year, REV'IT has you covered with both the Airborne as well as the Sky, which we looked at earlier. If you have additional questions, maybe you want to hear what other riders have to say, now would be the time to go ahead and click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting these base layers through their paces, or you can reach out to one of our Gear Geeks at 877-792-9455, or simply shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com, where you will be able to chat with one of our Gear Geeks to make sure that we have the right base layer for your style of riding. As for me, I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the 2018 lineup of REV'IT base layers. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.